Hi, and welcome to the Environmental Engineering webinar. My name is Phil Santonocito. I'm here with Memos.
I'm Professor Koutsospyros, Memos Koutsospyros.
Thank you all for attending, and if you have any questions, feel free to type them into the text box below this video, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. First thing I wanted to do is thank you for coming here, Memos. Is maybe give yourself a little bit of an introduction as to who you are and where you've come from.
Okay. Well, like I said, my name is Memos Koutsospyros, and I am a professor and program coordinator of the environmental engineering program here at the University of New Haven. I've been at the university over 20 years, and most of these years I've been directing the on-ground environmental engineering program. Originally, I'm a chemical engineer, graduated from the National Technical University of Athens in Greece, and then in the U.S. I got a master's degree and a PhD degree at Polytechnic University in New York.
Oh, interesting. So tell me a little bit about the environmental engineering program here at UNH. You know, what's it really about?
Okay. Well, first of all, what I would like to say is that the MS Environmental Engineering program at UNH is one of the first programs in the state of Connecticut. I mean, it goes back in the beginning of 70s, and it's a very, very successful program. Over the years, we have given MS degrees into more than 600 people or so,
Wow.
both in the state of Connecticut and also in the greater Northeast region, the states surrounding us. I mean, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and so on. The program was originally designed to be more of a wastewater treatment type of a program, but since the beginning of the 90s, we have managed to switch the program, the focus of the program, into more current environmental issues, including freight and transport, hazardous waste, and other waste matrices except water and wastewater.
Mm-hmm. What's the curriculum like for the program?
Well, currently there are about 30. This is a 30 credit program,
Mm-hmm.
and it consists of essentially either 9 courses and a master's project, or 10 courses, but in that case a student would have to actually perform a research project in one of the courses, that a major research project in one of the courses they take. Or it could be 8 courses plus a 6 credit master's thesis.
Oh, okay. What are some of the courses like? What are some of the topics that they might be covering?
Well, the program attempts to actually expose students to as many areas of environmental engineering as possible. So, like I said earlier, water, wastewater, industrial waste, hazardous waste,
Mm-hmm.
but also solid waste and air pollution and soil pollution are some of the courses that are available for students to take.
Mm-hmm.
The core courses focus around processes, in other words, physicochemical processes for treatment of waste, biological processes, contaminant freight and transport,
Mm-hmm.
Environmental law, and solid waste. These are some of the core courses that pretty much every student must take.
Interesting. Interesting. Where do you see a lot of your alumni kind of going in terms of employment after they conclude the program?
Well, environmental engineers are employed in a variety of positions, both in the private sector but also in government. For example, in organizations like the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection here in Connecticut, or the Department of Environmental Protection in New York, federal EPA. These are some places where these people may be employed. Another avenue is a private practice. Many of our graduates work for environmental consulting companies. We've had students, alums who work for the major environmental companies in the field, like CDM, Medcafanetti, and so on. Both in the region, but also, outside of the region too.
Interesting.
Finally, another category of people are employed in the industry, either as environmental engineers or as environmental managers. So these are the three major outlets for environmental engineers.
What kind of current trends or future trends do you see like happen in the environmental engineering industry?
Well, according to the Department of Labor statistics, environmental engineers will be in high demand in the coming years. Generally speaking, this demand is approximately going to be about 16%, at least by the year 2020. This 20% is, this 16% is way above the mean engineering employment of other engineering specializations. So generally speaking, environmental engineers are more welcome than any other engineer currently, and this is projected to continue up until 2020.
Oh, interesting. So looking at like the students that are coming into the program, is there some sort of characteristic that underlines the majority of your student population, or?
Well, the ideal background would be an engineering background, and to be more specific, ideally civil engineer and people with civil engineering degrees, chemical engineering degrees, and mechanical engineering degrees are the most sought about candidates. However, people from other engineering disciplines can also attend the program with a little bit of a few modifications in terms of the courses they may have to take. So we may have to include some remedial courses for them. Also, students with science backgrounds have also a very good background for making it to the environmental engineering professional world. And by that I mean people who have degrees in physics, chemistry, biology. For those people, most of the times what we do is we may have to actually, depending on their actual transcripts, we may have to suggest certain courses that they must complete prior to entering the program.
One of the things that I think a lot of our potential applicants are going to run into is, to get a degree of this sort while they're also working in the field at the same time can be a little bit difficult, if not daunting. And I know one of the benefits of having this program entirely online is it has a great degree of flexibility.
Well, yes, and this is something that is a major concern for us. I mean, in the first year of the program's operation, I mean, the composition of the student body used to be like 80% American, about 20% international. Nowadays, it's the other way around. And of course, students domestic students who work have a difficulty attending the on-ground program, sometimes because of their inability to come to campus on a certain given time of the week, or because they don't have enough time, or because they have family obligations, and so on and so forth. So this is the reason why we thought of offering this program, this online program, completely online program, MS Environmental Engineering, to facilitate those people who are already in the working force and they would like to advance by getting a master's degree in environmental engineering.
Do you see any quality differences between the on-ground program and the online program, or how do you feel that those stack up against each other?
Well, there shouldn't be any. I mean, the material and the curriculum that's being taught in the on-ground program is almost identical to the material and that goes into the courses of the online program.
Mm-hmm.
The instructors also are the same, and of course. Those instructors had to actually be retrained to be able to deliver online courses, because there are fundamental differences in the delivery method. However, the content is identical.
So speaking of that, like, can you talk a little bit about maybe the experience that they might go through in taking one of these online classes?
Well, online classes are ideal for people who are self-learners.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they have the ability to learn on their own,
mm-hmm.
and they are not self-paced. In other words, the instructor keeps track of the pace at which material is being learned.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the major advantage is that they can do it on their own time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whenever it's convenient for them, or whenever they find a little bit of time to work on that.
Well, one nice thing about our online programs is that it's not just a captured lecture. It's, they take place in 8-week terms, and each week has its own module with its own learning outcomes that the instructor works with our instructional designers and everything else.
Definitely, and also it's the fact that the students are exposed to multimedia. In other words, there may be videos where you have the delivery of the material in an optical manner, much like when you are in class.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also material in the form of text.
Mm-hmm.
So the students are exposed to a variety of delivery methods. It's not that it's a single one-dimensional type of learning.
Yeah, distance learning has changed a lot over the years. Definitely has.
Definitely, and what I would like to also note is that learning in online programs is not directional. In other words, it doesn't go from the instructor straight to the student. But there is a component which is horizontal, and by that I mean that students also learn from each other. Why? Because they work in groups. They have to work in groups, and this way transfer of knowledge happens in a bi-directional way, which is a lot more efficient. So.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to say about the program before we wrap this up? I know everybody's got a lot of things to do with their time and want to try to keep these short and sweet.
No, only that I'm looking forward to actually starting the program.
Mm-hmm.
As you may know, we are starting this fall in fact in a couple of weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would welcome any of you that you're out there and are watching us right now to actually participate in and apply and participate into this program. I think that you will not regret it.
If any of you have any questions after this event has gone off live, feel free to type them into the comment section in any of the video portals that you're seeing, and we'll answer all your questions as quickly as we possibly can. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us, and thank you, Memos.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Phil, for having me here and giving me the opportunity to actually interact with prospective students for the online program.
My pleasure. Have a great day, everyone.